Imagine a mother turkey. She is a kind, attentive parent, but her mothering instinct is triggered by one specific thing: the cheep cheep sound of her chicks. If a predator, like a stuffed polecat, makes that sound, the turkey will mother it. If her own chick stops making the sound, she might ignore or even kill it. Cialdini calls this click-whir processing. Click. A specific trigger happens. Whir. An automatic sequence of behavior starts. In our complex world, we don't have time to analyze everything. We use mental shortcuts. While these shortcuts usually help us, compliance professionals, salespeople, marketers, con artists, know how to trigger our whir response to get what they want. So hello friends. Welcome to the Channel Growth Library, where we distill the world's most powerful ideas into actionable insights. Let's start. Chapter 1. Reciprocation. The old give and take. We feel an overwhelming internal pressure to repay what another person has provided us. Story. A university professor once sent Christmas cards to a bunch of total strangers. He expected no response, but cards came pouring back. People didn't even check who he was. They just felt the click-whir need to return the favor. Lessons. The power of the uninvited favor. You don't have to ask for something to feel indebted. If someone buys you a $1 soda, you're much more likely to buy a $5 raffle ticket from them later. Rejection, then retreat. This is a deadly sales tactic. A person asks for a large favor, which you refuse, then scales back to a smaller favor. You perceive this as a concession, so you feel obligated to make a concession too, by saying yes. If someone does you a favor, accept it for what it is. But if you realize the favor was just a sales device, you are no longer obligated to repay it. A favor deserves a favor. A commercial trick does not. Chapter 2. Liking. The friendly thief. We prefer to say yes to the requests of someone we know and like. Story. Think of a Tupperware party. The company doesn't sell to you. Your friend, the host, sells to you. You buy the containers because you like your friend, not because you need more plastic. The factors of liking. Physical attractiveness. The halo effect. We automatically assign traits like talent, kindness, and honesty to attractive people. Similarity. We like people who are like us. Opinions, personality, background, or even clothing style. Compliments. Clean, simple praise, even if we know it's flattery, works. Contact and cooperation. We like people we work with toward a common goal. The good cop, bad cop routine works because the good cop seems like he's on your side. Keep your feelings for the requester separate from the request. If you find yourself liking a car salesman unusually much after only 15 minutes, step back. Ask yourself, do I like this car or just this guy? Chapter 3. Social proof. Truths are us. We view a behavior as more correct in a given situation to the degree that we see others performing it. Story. Canned laughter on sitcoms is annoying, right? Yet television executives use it because research shows it makes audiences laugh longer and more often. Our brains hear others laughing and click-whir. We think it must be funny. Lessons. Uncertainty. When we are unsure of ourselves, we are most likely to look to others for guidance. Pluralistic ignorance. In an emergency, if nobody else is reacting, we assume nothing is wrong. This leads to the bystander effect. The Werther effect. When a suicide makes the front page of the news, suicide rates and accidental crashes in that area spike because troubled people see others taking that path. If you are in an emergency in a crowd, do not yell, "Help!" Point to one specific person and say, "You in the blue jacket, call 911. This removes uncertainty and triggers action. Chapter 4. Authority. Directed deference. We have a deep-seated sense of duty to authority. Story. In the famous Milgram experiment, ordinary people were told by a scientist, the authority, to deliver increasingly painful electric shocks to a stranger. Despite the stranger's screams, 65% of participants went all the way to the maximum, potentially lethal voltage, simply because a man in a lab coat told them to. Lessons, titles. A doctor or professor title automatically commands respect. Clothes, suits or uniforms trigger compliance. Trappings. Expensive cars and jewelry signal status and authority. Ask 2 questions. Is this authority truly an expert? And how truthful can we expect this expert to be? This helps you distinguish between real expertise and fake symbols. Chapter 5. Scarcity. The rule of the few. Opportunities seem more valuable to us when their availability is limited. Story. A department store advertised a limited-time sale on a specific appliance. Customers who were undecided suddenly felt a rush to buy because they thought they might lose the chance forever. This is loss aversion. The fear of losing something is stronger than the desire to gain something. Lessons. Limited numbers. Only 3 left in stock. Deadlines. Sale ends at midnight. Censorship. When information is banned, we want it more and believe it to be more true. Scarcity creates a physical agitation, heart racing, FOMO. When you feel that rush, stop. Ask, do I want this because it's useful or just because it's hard to get? A scarce cookie doesn't taste any better than a plentiful one. Chapter 6. Commitment and Consistency. Hobgoblins of the Mind. Once we make a choice or take a stand, we encounter personal and interpersonal pressures to behave consistently with that commitment. Story. Toy companies often undersupply hot toys at Christmas. Parents promise the toy to their kids, find it's sold out, and buy a substitute. In January, the company restocks the hot toy. The parents, feeling obligated to keep their word, go back and buy the second toy too. Lessons. The foot in the door. Start with a tiny request. Once someone says yes, their self-image changes. They now see themselves as the type of person who helps, making them likely to agree to much larger requests later. Public commitment. Written or public statements are the hardest to break. Listen to your stomach signs. If you feel a pit in your stomach because you're agreeing to something you don't want to do just to be consistent, call it out. Tell the person exactly why you won't be pressured by your previous statement. Chapter 7. Unity, the we principle, new. We are more easily influenced by people we perceive as one of us. Story. Cialdini shares a story about a group of students. If they were asked to do a survey by a stranger, few agreed. But if the stranger said, "I'm a student here too," the unity principle kicked in, and compliance skyrocketed. Lessons. Shared identity. This goes beyond similarity. It's about belonging to the same tribe, family, or group. Co-creation. When people help create something, they feel a sense of unity with the project and the leader. Family ties. We will do almost anything for kin. Be wary when someone tries to manufacture a we feeling, e.g., a corporate leader saying, "We are a family." Look for the objective facts outside of the group identity. Conclusion. Instant influence. In the modern age, we are bombarded with information. We need these 7 shortcuts to survive. However, when people cheat these shortcuts to manipulate us, we must strike back by refusing to be influenced and calling out their tactics. The 7 principles. Recall, reciprocity. Give before you take. Liking. We say yes to those we like. Social proof. We do what others do. Authority. We follow the experts. Scarcity. We want what we can't have. Consistency. We stick to our word. Unity. We help our tribe. Friends. If this summary gave you the clarity and the push you needed, Please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more life-changing book summaries.